So this video is going to be talking about food on Amtrak. So in this section, we're going to talk a little bit about coffee on the train. So one of the perks on riding in a sleeper car is that there is a coffee station in each sleeper car. In the mornings, your sleeper car attendant gets up very early and they put on a fresh pot of coffee so you can wake up being able to smell that fresh pot of coffee. It's nice just being able to walk out of your room and walk a few steps to get you some coffee. You don't have to wait until breakfast to go to the dining car to get coffee or go to the cafe car to get coffee. On the sleeper car, on the superliners, the coffee station is located right at the top of the steps, and it's right in the center of the roomette hallway and the bedroom hallway. The coffee is good, in my opinion, on Amtrak, but what I learned on my Southwest Chief train ride is not all coffee stations are equal. And here's what I mean by that. So all coffee stations look the same. They have the same coffee pot. They have your coffee stirrers. They have sugar and creamer, and of course, coffee cups and lids, and Amtrak napkins. But what was special about the coffee station in my sleeping car on the Southwest Chief was Cynthia, the sleeping car attendant. She went a step above and not only had the basics, like all Amtrak sleeper car coffee stations have, but she also had a little side table of some type of pecan syrup to put in your coffee. I think it was like a caramel pecan. She had cinnamon, like a jar of cinnamon, and a jar of pumpkin spice for us to shake into our coffees. And on the little side table, she had a vase of fresh flowers. And it just made the morning experience really nice. And she kept the coffee going all throughout the day. Normally they stop making the coffee around 11 a.m., but she had it going throughout the day. Now, to be fair, on the other train route that I took during my birthday trip, the car attendant there also kept the coffee going throughout the day, although there was a sign that says coffee is only from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. But a good car attendant, I believe, will kind of get the pulse of its passengers to see exactly how much coffee they're drinking, and or if someone says, hey, is the coffee still fresh, then they'll keep the coffee brewing. So back in August, I was on the Amtrak's Floridian train. And one of the things that didn't go so well was the dining experience for me. Not the food, but just the whole dining experience itself. And here's why. I chose mostly to eat in my room by myself, or when I did choose to eat in the dining car, I chose late times. So by the time I went there wasn't that many people still eating, and I was pretty much eating by myself. For my recent trip, which was on 2 long-distance trains, I purposely made sure that I had a good dining experience. And to do this, first of all, I decided for my lunch and dinner reservations to pick earlier times and Also, just to make sure I did go and eat in the dining room instead of having the food brought to me in my room. And it made a world of difference. Now, I am an introvert, so I do have to have my alone time to recharge, but that's what the Roomette's for. I can have my alone time for many hours, but for the dining experience, it was really nice because I did go in, I was seated at a table with strangers, but those strangers became friends, and I got to learn interesting stories, life experiences from random strangers that if I had sat in my room, I would have never learned about. Now, another thing that I noticed that was different between the two routes, the Southwest Chief and the Sunset Limited, was how they did the reservations. The Southwest Chief did the reservations similar to other long distance trains I've been on, where they come around to your room and they usually give you about 3 different times to choose from. You let them know. A lot of times they'll give you a little slip of paper with your time, and they will tell you not to come to the dining car until your time is called. The point being is they may be a little ahead or they may be a little behind. But when you do get to the dining car, most of the time, or up until just this last trip, I've always been on the train where they tell you when you get to the dining car, when you get in there, just step inside and wait until the attendant tells you where to sit. What was different with the Sunset Limited, which I took from Los Angeles to San Antonio, was when they gave you the little reservation slip, they put a table number on it. But once you are called and you get to the car, then you just go to your table. So that was something new for me. I had not experienced that before, which to me, it was nice. You didn't have to just stand there and right inside the door of the dining room and just kind of wait until the dining car attendant noticed you and people staring at you until you can go and be seated. Now, although I purposely made sure I ate in the dining car because I did want to have that experience with meeting fellow train lovers or even speaking to people who are riding the train for the first time and hearing their joy and their excitement and sharing stories with them and giving them tips. You can eat in your room. So if you want to eat in your room, that's fine. You just need to let your car attendant know that you want to eat in your room, and they will bring you a menu, or sometimes there's menus in your car already. Don't go to the dining room to order a meal to go. Your sleeper car attendant has to do that for you. Okay, so this last thing I want to talk about is the actual food on the trains. These 2 train routes both served the traditional dining menu, except that the Sunset Limit / Texas Eagle, once it gets to San Antonio and splits to go its separate ways, one on to Chicago, the other one on to New Orleans. The one going to Chicago, it turns into the flexible dining menu at that time. So overall, the food was good. For breakfast, I had the railroad French toast, and one of the mornings I had it with the strawberries and the whipped cream that comes with it. The other morning, I just had it with powdered sugar without any berries or whipped cream on it. Um, both times it was very good. For lunch, I had my favorite, and everybody at my table had this also, which was the Angus hamburger. Now, with that, you can either get it with cheddar cheese or with Swiss cheese. I like the Swiss cheese with mine. To me, between the burger on the Southwest Chief and the one on the Sunset Limited, I would have to say the one on the Sunset Limited was just a little bit better. However, none of them beat the one that I had on the Floridian. I also tried for dinner. I did try the chicken breast for 2 of the nights. I was on the train for 4 nights. 2 of the 4 nights, I did have the chicken, which I thought was really tasty. It came with mashed potatoes and green beans. However, on my very last night on the train, I ordered the chicken, but the train was out of fresh water for cooking, I guess. And so they couldn't make the mashed potatoes. So they served the side dish, a different side dish with it. And I had the salmon the second night on the Southwest Chief. It did not compare to the other people at the table that also had the salmon. They had a lot more sauce on theirs than I had on mine. And my end pieces were good on mine, but the middle section seemed a little maybe overcooked. So I didn't really enjoy that dish. And I have to admit, this is the second time I've had salmon on Amtrak that I haven't liked it. I've had it, I think, only once where it was actually very good. But all in all, when you're riding on Amtrak, and especially if you are in a sleeper car, I would recommend to experience the dining car, experience the communal seating where you may get a chance to meet some interesting people and swap train stories with them, try out their food, try out different dishes. I say that although it seems like I always get the hamburger, I always get the French toast, but maybe my next trip I'll try something different for breakfast. But just try it out. I think you'll find it very enjoyable, even if you're an introvert. Um, there's a lot of introverts on the train, but we seem to be able to come together during mealtime. And just don't forget, tip the dining car attendant. I usually leave anywhere between $3 and $5, but even if you can afford just $1 or $2, but also remember if you're in a sleeper car, the meals are included with your ticket. Thank you for watching. This is Soloing Alone.